up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord Dr. Professor Dark Joker with this week's video. And this week, I'm going to give my predictions for the upcoming MLB season. So I'm going to go over who I think will win each division, who I think the wild card teams would be, who I think, the in the American League, National League champions will be, and who I think will win the World Series. Getting all that, so with all that being said, on with the video. First, I'm going to say who I think will win each division. For the American League East, I think it's going to be the New York Yankees who win this division. With Bellinger, Cody Bellinger, Garrett Cole, Aaron Judge. Players coming out like this could be a really this division's like a good division. Like it is a solid division. I mean, with the Blue Jays, you have Kevin Gausman, Jose Barrios, Dylan Cease. You know, Blue Jays are good. Red Sox, you have Ranger Suarez, Sonny Gray, Garrett Crochet, Orioles with Pete Alonso, Ryan Helsey, Gunnar Henderson. This division's pretty good. But I think by the end of the year, I think the Yankees will win this division. For the American League Central, I think the Detroit Tigers will win this division. I mean, with the Tigers, with their pitching staff, with Tarek Skubal, Framber Valdez, Jack Flaherty, Justin Verlander. That's gonna be a good pitching staff. Obviously Riley Green's gonna be a good batter for him, and you have some good team. You have the Royals, with Cole Reagan, Seth Lugo, Bobby Witt Jr., Carl Jensen, and the Twins. They had a good run last year for a little bit, and you have Cleveland Guardians. Yeah, I mean, I think like this is another good division, but I think with that pitching staff, I think the Tigers will win this division. For the American League West, I think the Seattle Mariners are going to repeat. I mean, another good division. I mean, obviously with the pitcher staff for the Mariners with Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Luis Castillo, Brian Wu. Yeah, obviously the Astros are always a big threat. I mean, they are. With Jordan Alvarez, Jeremy Pena, and Taicho Ime, Christian Javier if Javier's healthy. And yeah, this could be a good. I mean, this could be a good division. Then you have, obviously you have, the Rangers and the A's. I mean, the A's, they're playing from Sacramento because they're in the process of moving out of Oakland. And of course, the Angels. Angels are basically in a rebuilding phase. I mean, they've arguably been in a rebuilding phase forever. But yeah, I think the Mariners will win that division. For the National League East, I think it's going to be the New York Mets. Unfortunately, I mean, as a Braves fan, I prefer the Mets are going to, win it, but I think it's going to be the Mets. Obviously, the Mets, they've lost, Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo. I mean, and you have, injuries with Sean Manaea, Francisco Alvarez. And of course, the Braves, obviously they had a bunch of injuries last year. They're all recovering from that. So the Braves could have a bounce back year. Then you have the Phillies. Like obviously the Phillies, they doing well, with Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Zach Wheeler. Like the Phillies are doing good. I mean, Marlins and Nationals are there. But I think the Mets will end up winning that division. For the National League Central, I think the Chicago Cubs will win that division. I mean, Alex Bregman's, joining them with, Dansby Swanson, Seiya Suzuki, Hey Horton. Like, that's going to be a strong team. And, of course, the Brewers are expected to, have a kind of a down year. Obviously, they traded Freddie Peralta to the Mets. And then, of course, you have, they're going to rely a lot more on Colin Reed and Jameson Taylor. And yeah. And then basically, like, they could more likely be a wild card team than a division winner. And then you have the Reds with the Ellie De La Cruz, Hunter Green. Obviously, like they're they could like make a regress, but but they could also like do pretty well because they have like a a young team. If they do well, that could be interesting. You have the Pirates, with Paul Skeens, Bubba Chandler, and if Carr Griffin, who was a number 1 pick in the draft, if he debuts, he can maybe be a good player. Cardinals, they're just rebuilding. They're rebuilding. So yeah, I won't expect Cards to do much. So I think the Cubs will end up winning the division. For the National League West, I mean, it's the Dodgers. It's the Dodgers. I mean, just with all the acquisitions, the Dodgers. I mean, they're the favorites for a reason. Like, I mean, they've gotten so many freaking people. Obviously, yeah, the Giants, the Padres, Diamondbacks, they generally do pretty well, but they're not going to get past the Dodgers. Now for who I think will be the wild card teams in the playoffs. In the American League, I think it'll be the Boston Red Sox, the Houston Astros, and the Toronto Blue Jays. In the National League, I think it'll be the San Diego Padres, the Atlanta Braves, and the Philadelphia Phillies. Now for how I think the playoffs will go this year. For the American League Championship Series, I think the Detroit Tigers will win that and make it to the World Series. I mean, with that pitching staff, I think they're gonna get them past the other teams in the American League, and I think they'll make it, to the World Series this year. For the National League Championship Series, I think it's gonna be the Dodgers that win it. Like, I mean, just with all they have, I mean, they're making the World Series this year. I think. For the World Series champion, I think it's gonna be the Dodgers. I mean, just it's all been set up for them to win with all the acquisitions, the way the contracts are worked out everywhere. I mean, I think it's gonna be the Dodgers who win. I would like it for the Braves to win. Unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen. So yeah, I think the Dodgers will end up winning the World Series this year. And that's it. Did y'all like this video? Did you dislike this video? Do you agree with my predictions for the upcoming MLB season? Do you disagree with my picks? Where you agree, disagree, like, dislike, put all that in the comments, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Look forward to the next video.